Outside of the shoddier end of direct marketing, the purpose of cold calling is not to get the sale, but simply to move you one step closer to that sale. And often, that next step is an appointment. So, what are the steps in cold calling? Well, the first step is to research the prospect that you're going to call to make sure you know who they are, what their title is, and to a degree, what their needs are likely to be. Next, you need to prepare yourself. Make sure you have a pen and pencil to hand, and ideally a notepad or a call sheet. Get yourself comfortable, make sure you've got some water to hand, and then make the call. Whoever you speak to, the first step is to identify yourself. Tell them your name and who you're calling from, and the purpose of the call. You also need to build some measure of rapport. Remember that whoever you're speaking to, whether it's the person you intend to sell to in the end, or maybe an administrator somewhere in the line, that is a human being who can either help you make contact and get your sale, or hinder it. Rapport is the way that you build a relationship that is going to get them to help you. Once you have the right person on the line, the next step is to get their attention. And a good way to do this is to ask them a simple question. The next step is to get their interest. And the best way to do this is by hinting that you may have a solution to the problem that they've got. When you've done that, check whether your message has landed well. Is this something they want? What are their needs? What are their desires? And how well do they tally with your proposition? Now it's time for action. Ask for that appointment. Could we meet? Could we schedule a longer call? At this stage, you might have to do some objection handling. They may say, well, I don't have time for a call, in which case you could say, well, suppose you did, what would you want to talk about? And that will give you an opportunity to highlight how it could be worth their while. Or they might say, I don't really need to solve this problem at the moment. And you could respond with something like, suppose you did solve it though. How would that change things for you? If you successfully handle all of their objections, the next thing to do is to set an appointment. Don't be greedy. Ask for the minimum amount of time that you need. Once you've got the appointment, gather the important information that you need. Things like logistics, courtesies, and conventions. For example, you might ask, how do you dress for business meetings in your organisation? Or where is the right place for me to park? Then, thank them politely, both for their time and for setting the meeting. After the call, follow up. Confirm the meeting and the details they've given you in writing. A short, simple email serves best, and if you can create a simple template, it will make your job easier. As a minimum, this email should confirm the time and date, the place, and the purpose of the meeting. But if there is anything else important that you need to make sure they're aware of, include it in your email. When I first started setting up my training business, I made a lot of cold calls. Typically 20 a day, 5 days a week, certainly for the first 3 or 4 months of my business. So I got quite a lot of practice at this. And so my first tip is just do it and get the practice. It will never ever feel super comfortable for most people, but it will soon feel more familiar and you'll know what you're doing. Discipline yourself to do it in blocks and give yourself breaks between chunks so that you can stay fresh and make those calls effectively. It helps if you can either sit upright in a comfortable chair or stand, And many people, like I do, prefer to have a headset or some form of hands-free headphone and mic so that you can use your hands to comfortably write without trying to jam your phone up to your ear with your shoulder while you write on your notepad. And while I remember that, don't forget to make copious notes. The best way to do this is either on a structured call sheet that makes sure you get all the right information, or in a notebook. The advantage of a bound notebook, whether it is a free-form notebook or a bound set of call sheets, is that you are less likely to misplace them, which can be very, very annoying if you've made an appointment. And it doesn't hurt to have a script. This will give you confidence that you know what you're going to say. Sketch it out into simple sentences and bullet points. Print it out in big type with big gaps between it so that you can scan your eyes across it easily and put it somewhere in your eyeline. When you do ask for an appointment, suggest specific times, not general times. For example, instead of 11 o'clock, how about 10 to 11 or 10 past 11? And also suggest specific durations. Instead of an hour or half an hour, how about 50 minutes or 25 minutes? That suggests to the person that you're calling that you have a very clear idea of how long the meeting is going to take, and it will therefore increase their level of confidence that they'll be out in time. And they'll also know that if they set aside an hour for the 50 minutes, they'll have a bit of time either side to relax. My favourite tip, though, is if you want to speak to Mr. or Ms. X, then call their boss. Don't expect to speak to their boss. Be happy to speak to their boss's assistant. Then when the assistant says, oh, well, you shouldn't be speaking to my boss, you should be speaking to Mr. or Ms. X, you can then get their details and call the person you wanted to speak to and say, I was asked to give you a call by so-and-so's secretary, or I'm calling you because your name was recommended to me by... And while we're talking about the assistant or the secretary, this person is a gatekeeper in the sense that they guard the gateway to their boss's attention. As a result, never ever consider them as anything other than a super important person. They control your access, so build a relationship with them. It may take several calls to the gatekeeper to build up enough rapport to get them to feel comfortable to recommend you and make the appointment. And remember, if they have any reservations about you and they have a good relationship with their boss, then it's likely that their boss will hear about their reservations, and that will colour their interpretation of your meeting. So don't think of the gatekeeper as some form of opponent that you need to overcome. Think of them as someone to make into your ally. The best way to do this is to build rapport and then ask for their help. And finally, don't ever lie to the gatekeeper. Don't deceive them just because it feels like it might make your job easier. Because you will get caught on that lie one day and it will have serious repercussions. Very few people enjoy the process of cold calling and getting appointments. However, if you plan it well, if you have a good script which you adapt to each situation and you evolve as you learn more, you will get more comfortable and more confident at doing it, and you will start to have the results. And remember, if you don't want to cold call, you can always warm call by sending a message ahead, either by post or by email. That way you've got something to refer to. But the most important thing to remember is it's a numbers game. For every meeting you get, you may have to make 10, 15, 20, maybe even 50 or 100 cold calls, depending on the market you're selling into and the kinds of products you're selling. So, for each rejection, for each cold call that goes nowhere, think of it as one more step towards success. Please do give this video a like if you've learned from it or if you've enjoyed it. I'll be making loads more great management courses videos for you, so please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of them. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and in the meantime, keep learning.